Young Engineers, written by Andrew King and illustrated by Benjamin Johnson. Young Engineers. Ready, Mama? The world is a playground for young engineers, and young engineers have all sorts of ideas. Yeah, they dream and they draw, they design and create. They always have things to improve or to make. What could you make? Lots of things, I bet. Young engineers, sibling Gordon and Grace, had galactic ideas and were headed for space. Their rocket was huge, it had seating for 3, and with hyperdrive thrust, they'd be back before tea. All the way up in the sky. Young engineers, sisters Lily and Kitty, had planning ideas and were building a city. With park and ride stations, there weren't many streets. Instead, they built walkways with gardens and seats. That'd be pretty, with beautiful trees to sit under. Young engineers, brothers Hank and Herbert, had racing ideas and fine-tuned their go-kart. They'd made it with care. It was long, sleek and low. From the hilltop they'd wondered how fast it would go. Zoom all the way down the hill. Really fast. You can be really fast. Young engineers, cousins Mel and Marco, had farming ideas and were a new crop to sow. Their tractor was strong and their plough had new tines. They planted their seeds in straightest of lines. Really straight. Young engineers, neighbours Wendy and Wade, had refreshing ideas and sold ice lemonade. Their business was booming, their customers keen, so they drew up a plan for a bigger machine. Young engineers, schoolmates Pat, Pam and Pip, had sailing ideas and were launching their ship. They would carry supplies from the wharf in their bay to people in places a long way away. Young engineers, triplets Sam, Sean and Sid, had progressive ideas and were going off-grid, really. With batteries charged by the wind and sunlight, their torches and lanterns worked all through the night. They're camping. Young engineers, good friends, Kath and Cam, had muddy ideas and were forming a dam. The rain kept on falling, the water rose fast. Their dam wall was strong, but how long would it last? Young engineers, besties, Tilly and Tash, had reuse ideas and made toys out of trash. From bottles and boxes, scrap paper and string, with glue, wire and tape, they could make anything. Young engineers, buddies Nate and Nicole, had mining ideas and were digging a hole. With heavy equipment, they tried to dig deep, but they had to rethink as the sides became steep. Young engineers, close chums Alf and Adair, had healing ideas and were mending a bear. It had fallen quite badly and came to some harm, but it soon would be fixed with a robotic arm. Real fixed. Flash, flash. Young engineers, play pals Brenton and Bryce, had secret ideas and were coding device. They could transfer a message and decode it too. They had their own language that no one else knew. That's like you. You've got your own language that nobody knows. The world is a playground for young engineers, And young engineers have all sorts of ideas. You dream and you draw, you design and create. And you always have things to improve or to make. What are you going to make? And they're all the different types of engineers. Aerospace engineers, structural engineers, mechanical engineers, chemical engineers, marine engineers, agricultural engineers, electrical engineers, civil engineers, environmental engineers, mining engineers, biomedical engineers, and information, telecommunication and electronics engineers. You could be any one of those. And that's the end of the story. Young Engineers by Andrew King and Benjamin Johnson. It's the theme of the Little Kids Day Out 2022.